We're just going to wait 10 seconds to welcome everyone as we gather from far and wide. I am in the Temple building. It's really good to see all of you. So let's begin with a heart tap, greeting one another as we see each other. Of course, we encourage you to go into gallery view to see the members of our community. And tonight is a little different because our cantor and Rabbi Sherman, who will be delivering the sermon, are actually in the sanctuary, so we can hear the fullness of their sounds. The cameras are going to improve in the weeks ahead as we're investing in new technology. And so tonight's a bit of an experiment as we jump from Zoom to the cantor in the sanctuary. Actually, I'm in gallery view and I can see her singing in the sanctuary already. So Ryan, will you lead us?
Of course, Shabbat Shalom. Let's join together. Yanai, 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 yanai.
Again, let's begin with the heart tap, greeting one another on this beautiful day. It is Mother's Day weekend, and of course, we celebrate Shabbat. And so let's begin together with Cantor Zell in our sanctuary. Emily, can we move into the sanctuary? We'll see if this works.
This might be new, it might be familiar, but it's going to repeat enough that it will be familiar to you very quickly. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, ya, lai, 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 ya, lai, 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 hi, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, ya, lai, 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 ya, lai, 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 ya, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai. Shabbat Shalom. In this moment, we create a new time, a new space as we welcome Shabbat and bring in a sense of wholeness and shalom. So if you have candles with you at home, I invite you to draw them near as we bring the light and warmth and shalom of Shabbat. Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Continue with Shalom Aleichem.
Begin to welcome Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 boechem leshalom. Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 tzidchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Shabbat is not just something that arrives, it is something that we must receive. So this portion of our Shabbat service is called Kabbalat Shabbat, the receiving of Shabbat. Formally begins with the words of Lecha Dodi on page 138. Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat.
Let's join together.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litchila lecha Adoni, likrat galat b'nei invite you to please rise in body or spirit as we greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, olecha dodi likrat kala, o pnei Shabbat nekavela, olecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela, pnei Shabbat nekavela.
And let's all be seated once again as we begin to anchor ourselves, feet firmly on the floor, preparing ourselves for Shema. Hear, O Israel, listen, remember, God is everywhere, God is all around us.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Continuing on page 161, let there be love and understanding among us. Let us join together.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu Leshalom. V'hamidenu, Shomreinu Lechaim, Ufos Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Hashkiveinu,
Hashkiveinu
Adonai Eloheinu,
Eloheinu
Hashkiveinu
Leshalom.
Leshalom.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace
Hashkiveinu
friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
If you're able, we invite you to please rise for the tefillah on page 164. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, O God, open up our mouths that we may declare your praise.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Hagi, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach. Yagid Tehilatecha, open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we may feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole, and we will praise your name, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Yagid Tehilatecha.
So let's take a moment in meditation to consider things for which we're grateful. And for those on Zoom, if we can open up the chat room so that you can type in the chat below those things for which you're grateful, and then we'll come together as one.
Of my mouth Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri vegoali.
Let us now think of those who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of the body, of the spirit, or of the mind. Those of you who have joined us on Zoom this evening, we invite you to place the name of your loved ones in the chat. And if you are here with us in the sanctuary, we invite you to rise and share the name of your loved one aloud with us. Let's join together, page 371.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And of course, on Shabbat, we
As
come
you
together
know.
as a community to celebrate.
Of course, each week, as you know, we give thanks to God for those sacred moments we've shared during the past week. And so on Zoom, we look forward to celebrating with you by asking you to raise a hand. And so if you have celebrated a birthday this week, we want to wish you a happy birthday as I scroll through the gallery view. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday, Gail. How about an anniversary this past week? Anyone celebrating an anniversary in May? A May wedding, well, mazel tov. How about the gift of new life? I know that Howard and Claire Heyman, longtime members, were blessed with a granddaughter, Leah Parker Gross. So mazel tov to you. I believe you're watching from afar. And Alicia and Chris Boylan were also blessed with a daughter, Hannah May. Some mazel tov to you. How about you reconnected with an old friend this week? And you saw an old friend, or you enjoyed a new experience? Raise your hands. How about if you were newly vaccinated? I think I'm back.
You're back, Rabbi.
Oh, great. As I was just celebrating that we'll always be on Zoom, it went off. So we will always be on Zoom unless we get knocked off of the internet. But I want to give thanks for our opportunity to gather as a community. We hope you'll register in the sanctuary if you're local and join with us. If not, we'll always see each other on Zoom. Let us give thanks for birthdays and anniversaries and new moments in life with the words of Shehechianu.
Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Now to Rabbi Sherman in the sanctuary.
But the energy is building. I can feel it, and it's absolutely wonderful. Now look, we're all in different places with different levels of comfort, but the possibility of wherever going leads us feels significant. Now the Israelites too are itching to go. Like us in our Parsha, we find them having stayed in the same place still with the same routines for a long time. This Shabbat, we find ourselves at the end of the book of Leviticus, and the Israelites have been in the same location at the foot of Mount Sinai since the end of the book of Exodus. They are ready, and we are ready, but the world can be a scary place filled with unknown. And as we enter into a new phase of the pandemic, we can easily get distracted from our goals by the noise and busyness all around us. And the Israelites felt much the same way, about to wander forward into the wilderness without certainty of where they are headed. And God knows this. And so God gives the Israelites a parting gift, mitzvot, the sacred ways in which we can live in the world, encouraging us to act with kindness and empathy, rigor and faith, pursuing truth and justice, giving us order and a sacred calendar by which to live. Mitzvot like caring for the sick and keeping our earth clean, and considering the well-being of animals, recognizing the sunrise and the sunset, studying Torah, observing Shabbat, and so many others. But hidden deep within the explanations of these mitzvot, are two extraordinary verses. God says, I will establish a dwelling place, meshacheni betochechem, a dwelling place in your midst, and I will be ever present within it. Now we know this is not a new idea. Earlier in Exodus, we learned that we should build God a tabernacle so that God can dwell amongst the people. But what is unique about the text in our reading this Shabbat is that it's no longer about a communal building project. It's telling us to recognize that God dwells within them, within us, without a physical home. The last thing God says to the Israelites before they depart Sinai, before you go, God says, know that holiness is within you, and the way to access it is through mitzvot. Before the Israelites could walk forward, they needed to know that God dwelled within them, that the laws were indeed within them. Because mitzvot don't exist as an abstract idea, they are within, part of our daily routines that help us walk in this world. And this week we read from two parshas, Bahar Bechukotai, Bahar on the mountain, and Bechukotai in my laws. Now, I think that "in my laws" is a rather odd phrase. What does it mean to live within laws? I've always thought that we could follow laws rather than living within them. But I suppose it could mean that we live by a particular set of instructions. But I believe it's more embodied than that we can't possibly move forward unless we internalize mitzvot so much that they become a part of us. Activating the mitzvot within takes practice. Living with the awareness of God's presence within takes practice. It may not come naturally, but we can teach ourselves. When many of us learn to ride a bike, we may have used training wheels, relying on them precipitously, knowing that they will catch us if we lose our balance. But of course, the ultimate goal is not that we keep those wheels on forever, but rather the action, the muscle memory becomes so ingrained that we simply know what to do and how to do it. We know how to ride a bike because the action is located in our procedural memory, the part of our long-term memory that helps us know how to do things. Procedural memory is part of our implicit or automatic memory. And implicit memory guides us by using past experiences to remember things without thinking about them. And so perhaps the mitzvot fall within our implicit memory. When we repeat them over and over, it becomes easier to do. Yet sometimes, when riding a bike for the first time in a long time, we need a little encouragement to get going and to find our balance again. The system of mitzvot can provide us a structure. That is, if you engage in these mitzvot, then our muscles can start to do them naturally. And Shabbat is just one regular example of a mitzvah practice that can remind us weekly to engage in activating the holy within. But sometimes, even when we know what to do, we still struggle to get started, that something is blocking our way. Even when we have the intellectual understanding of mitzvot, our spiritual path may have narrowed. In the book of Genesis, we find Adam walking in lush gardens when he hears something. Ayeka, where are you? God calls out. Now, certainly, Torah had not been revealed to Adam in the ways in which it was revealed to Moses and the people on Mount Sinai. But we can assume that Adam had a basic framework for mitzvot, an understanding of how to live. In his book, Radical Judaism, my teacher, Rabbi Arthur Green, reimagines this call. Rabbi Green teaches, "Let us return to the accounts of creation, old and new. In the old tale, God calls out to Adam, Ayeka, where are you?" And Green goes on to say, making the shift from the old to the new creation story, I have chosen to read this as a call of God from within, the animating spirit of the whole great evolutionary journey, calling out to every human to participate fully in it, each in our own distinctive way. Rabbi Green suggests that the silently spoken divine, where are you? Ayeka, is the essence of revelation. To be a religious human being, he says, is to recognize that call and to seek to respond to it. And so this call, or the awareness of it, might be what it means to live within mitzvot. God dwells within, calling out to us to be aware of where we are in the world, how we are engaging with the world, and ultimately what we're going to do within it. Mitzvot are our pathways to holiness. And when engaged in the process of sacred living, we activate the godliness within us. The Israelites knew implicitly these mitzvot. Yet God knew that it would sometimes be difficult to lift them to the surface, to lift them into action, to walk forward into a distracted and perhaps scary world. And that's why God dwells within. The mitzvot live within. And God's call, aloud or even as a whisper, emanates from within, reminding us to find our way. When we walk into an unknown world, ayaka, God says, you know what to do. We just have to listen for that call and be open to it. And of course, we've learned this year, we don't need a physical space to stay connected with God. And even though some of us find ourselves coming back to our physical space, let us be reminded that everything we need to activate the holy, all the mitzvot that we can bring forth into the world, are within each one of us. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yasher koach. Be holy, hear the whisper, a quiet, gentle voice. Be holy, hear the whisper that helps us make the choice to be like God. To be like God. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Be holy, hear the whisper that guides each word and deed. Be holy, hear the whisper, reminding us we need to be like God. To be like God. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue with words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. And we call to mind those relatives or members of our community who have passed during the past 30 days. Faye Cohen, Lois Foster, Ronald Frederick, Faye Mascot Goldberg, Marilyn Goldman, Lee Fern Goldman, Alexa Hack, Elaine Carlin, David Katz, William Shiowitz, Stanley Steer, Suki Wieland, and just today, Paul Morton's mother, Florence Morton, passed away. Interment will be in the coming days. For those on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat box to record the names of those individuals you're remembering. In the sanctuary, we invite you to rise to recite the names of those you're remembering for your site, or if you're a mourner in our midst. I've also been asked to recite the names of Major Belkin, William Bloom, Manuel Davis, Bess Gould-Nog, Albert Plone, and Bessie Sheff. And then on page 598, we now rise for the words of Mourner's Kaddish as we join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayed ho beit Yisrael. Pagalav izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'krusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Ta'miran mi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
And we're going to continue with announcements, but while we do, Jack, if you'll come forward into this box, because I thought we had a challah here.
We have a challah in your box, Rabbi.
Oh,
He's going to come in there.
got
We're
it.
actually going to count the Omer as well.
Now it will mysteriously enter this box. So while he comes up, some announcements, because a lot is happening in our community, as you know. Minyan and Torah study tomorrow at 10 a.m. And on Sunday, we have the Mother's Day Walk for Peace, which is virtual. So our TBE team is still collecting donations. We hope you'll visit our website to contribute. Monday night, we have our first meeting for Israel travel as we, God willing, return to Israel in November. So if you're interested in an adult trip to Israel that I'll be leaving October 31st, returning November 10th, God willing, join us on Zoom at 8 p.m. Then next week, looking ahead, not only is there Shabbat, but there is confirmation and Shavuot services Sunday night at 7 p.m., followed by Yizkor the next night at 7 p.m. as well on a Monday night. So we hope you'll join us. We are marching toward Shavuot, meaning this is the period of the Omer when we count the days between Passover and Shavuot. And so, Cantor Zell, will you lead us in the counting of the Omer?
I would love to lead us with a special
The 41st
bracha.
day, you
So
bet.
we go, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, vitzivanu al sefirat haomer.
And now that we've said the blessing, we count the days with the words Hayom echad v'arba'im yom, shehem chamisha shavuot, v'shisha yamim la'omer, which means today is 41 days, which is 5 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And now, Jack is ready. So, if you'll uncover the challah, and on Zoom, if you have a challah, if you'll show it, but Jack is showing his. You can take off your mask. Perfect. We see you. You want to lead us? Oh, we don't have a microphone for you,
Right, so
do
we need a microphone, and do we have a,
We're learning a lot this
are we,
evening.
can we see Jack on, yes, we're good, thank you.
You ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
Jack, you get to put down the
Amen.
microphone. Take a piece of challah if you're able to eat challah. You can, yep, put that down. You want a piece of challah? It's a good one. It's fresh. I saw it come in today. We haven't had a challah in here in 15 months.
Mazel tov, Jack.
Mazel tov to you, to your family as well. And now I'll do an insiders. Now I can speak to the sanctuary because we should be muted.
So we are going to continue on Zoom with our Kiddush this evening. I know we've had a few Zoom outages here and there, but I am so excited that Talia Wilk, who will become Bat Mitzvah this Shabbat, is here. So Talia, if you can say Shabbat Shalom so that we can make sure to see and hear you in gallery mode. Can you hear me? Can you say Shabbat Shalom?
Shabbat Shalom.
There she is. All right, so hold up that Kiddush cup, come close to the screen, and why don't you lead us? Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratav banu v'shabbat kodsho b'achavu u'prasem hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikrei kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, Kiranu v'charta, V'yaltanu kitashta, Mikol hamim, V'shabbat kodshecha, V'achava u'ratzon, Kimhaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Amen, Talia. Mazel tov. Take a sip. Yasher koach. And to those of you who have your glasses at home, we say l'chaim and Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to go ahead and unmute and let you say Shabbat Shalom to one another. Have a wonderful Shabbat day.
Shabbat
Shalom.
How are you, honey?
Shalom, Rabbi Sabra.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shira Hoadley.
Oh, there's someone just said Shira Hoadley.
It's Hoadley.
Oh, that was, oh, so nice.
She offers this setting to Miss Hamocha and also a melody for Hashkivi.
Shabbat shalom
Yeah.
to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Rasha.
Shabbat shalom to you.
Shabbat Shalom, Dad.
Shabbat Shalom, Oren Sapphire.
Shabbat Shalom, Emily's mom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
It
shalom.
was at Kira's baby.
Shabbat shalom. So hold on, let me get out of the meeting here. Now the show. Hey, I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, I'm ready. I did help you. So whatever you're ready to do is just let me know.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
From earlier today? No, not yet.
Hebrew for Hashivenu on page 42, or some English words on your screen as we pray together that God's shelter of peace will be spread over all of us.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lehavinu Shomeinu Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lehavinu Shomeinu Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom. Lehavinu Shomeinu
Talking to myself.
Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom. Lehavinu Shomeinu
Welcome to join with me on page 44. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness, being pleased with the seventh day you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. Page 46, we rise in body or in spirit and join together.
Adonai Sefatitah Uvia Giteli Latefa Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך אושר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע,
מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים.
I don't have video. No, Linda.
ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצליח ישועה, נאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יעללו סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Take a few moments for our own silent prayer.
And that's what I'm sure. And I know that's why I was trying to.
You know, it's my mother's ripped bathrobe, the blue one.
There's in the office.
Oh, forget it. I don't have a cup. I don't have a cup up here.
Well,
I mean, there is a cup in there.